Man, what the? Slackers. Yep.
Hey there, folks. Welcome, and thanks for tuning in to the debut of my new podcast, Umpteenth Time Hearing, where I'll be digging off little hidden gems of music from the past, dusting them off, and playing them for what will be my umpteenth time hearing them, but what for many of you will likely be your first time hearing. And I'm pretty excited about this for the first episode because I have known since I came up with the idea for this podcast what the first song was going to be. It just couldn't be anything else. 88 lines about 44 women by the Nails. Now, I discovered this song the summer before my junior year in college, which is when I started the DJ work that I mentioned in my introductory program. And I remember this because the summer job I was working that year, I met this guy Eric who was really into alternative music that I was only just starting to discover. And he had this incredible vast collection of vinyl. Now, I grew up in rural Vermont, and let me assure you, there were a lot more farms around than there were record stores, so trying to discover new music and new vinyl wasn't exactly a trip around the corner. So I learned a lot about music from him. We and a couple of others went to a few concerts. It was a good summer, and I've been recommending this song to people ever since. And I do want to get to it, but before that, I want to tell you about what you're about to see. I did mention in my introduction that I'd be doing something a little bit extra on the first week of the month. And this is the song that gave me the idea of doing that. Much like the T for Trompetta piece at the end of my introduction, that came about while watching V for Vendetta, and I started thinking V, T, Trump, what could you do with that? Looked up a few words, and then my mind just ran with it. And so as I thought about this podcast and this song, my mind ran with it, which explains what you're about to see. I don't want to give it away, and so without further ado, let's dive right into it. This is 88 Lines About 44 Women by the Nails. Enjoy.
Deborah was a Catholic girl, she held out to the bitter end. Carla was a different type, she's the one who put it in. Mary was a black girl, and I was afraid of a girl like that. Susan painted pictures sitting down like the Buddha sat. Reno was an aimless girl, a geographic memory. Kathy was a Jesus freak, she liked that kind of misery. Vicky had this special way of turning sex into a song. Kamala, who couldn't sing, kept the beat, kept it strong. Zilla was an archetype, the voodoo queen, the queen of rap. Joan thought men were second best to masturbating in the bath. Sherry was a feminist, she really had that gift of gab. Kathleen's point of view was this: take whatever you can grab. Seattle was another girl who left her mark upon the map. Karen liked to tie me up and left me hanging by a strap. Jeannie had this nightclub walk that made grown men feel underage. Mariella, who had a son, said I must go, but finally stayed. Gloria, the last taboo was shattered by her tongue one night. Mimi brought the taboo back and held it up for the light. Marilyn, who knew no shame, was never, ever satisfied. Julie came and went so fast she didn't even say goodbye. Rhonda had a house in Venice, lived on brown rice and cocaine. Patty had a house in Houston, shot top syrup in her veins. Linda thought her life was empty, filled it up with alcohol. Catherine was much too pretty, she didn't do that shit at all. Not Catherine. Pauline thought that love was simple, turn it on and turn it off. Jean-Marie was complicated, like some French filmmaker's plot. Gina was the perfect lady, always kept her stalking straight. Jackie was a rich punk rocker, silver spoon and a paper plate. Sarah was a modern dancer, lean, pristine transparency. Janet wrote bad poetry in a crazy kind of urgency. Tanya Turkish liked to fuck while wearing leather biker boots. Brenda's strange obsession was for certain vegetables and fruit. Rowena was an artist's daughter, the keep her image shook her up. Dee Dee's mother left her father, took his money and his truck. Debbie Ray had no such problems, perfect Norman Rockwell home. Nina, 16, had a baby, left her parents, lived alone. Bobby joined a new wave band and changed her name to Bobby Sox. Eloise, who played guitar, sang songs about whales and cops. Terry didn't give a shit, was just a nihilist. Ronnie was much more my style, but she wrote songs just like this. Jezebel went 40 days drinking nothing but Perrier. Dinah drove her Chevrolet into the San Francisco Bay. Judy came from Ohio, she's a Scientologist. Amaranta, here's a kiss, I chose you to end this list. Lines about 44 women.
Well, there you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed. And if you like that song, if you like the sound of the nails at all, I've included a few links to help you out here. There is, of course, the band's official webpage. That's down below. And there's also 3 YouTube links. The videos for another song of theirs from their debut album. This song, Let It All Hang Out, was originally released in 1967 by the Hombres. And then there's a song from their second album, Dangerous Dreams. The song is The Things You Left Behind, which is another List song, but also just a really good song of its own right. And then just for fun, I came across this while I was doing the digging for the program. There's a Voice Dude parody of the Nails called 88 Lines About 44 Presidents. There if you want to take a look. While you're down there, by the way, don't forget to click on that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. There's that notification bell if you want to hear about upcoming programs, and certainly appreciate all the likes and support. One last little piece of trivia here for you before I sign off. This is something that combines information I had from around my college DJ days with trivia I discovered while doing some research for this program. In the mid-'80s, there was a punk rock band, the Dead Kennedys, and I'd heard a bit about them before I became a DJ, mostly because in 1986, lead singer Jello Biafra was arrested on obscenity charges. Distributing potentially harmful material to minors, I believe, was the specific charge, subsequently acquitted by a hung jury. And this wasn't over the cover art on their album or any of the lyrics either. Keep in mind that this was during the Ronald Reagan Attorney General Ed Meese years, when the Republican Party first started to anchor itself to the evangelical movement, and also the time of Tipper Gore's Parents Music Resource Council, which was an effort to have government censorship of explicit rock lyrics. An effort that was best described in testimony at the time from Frank Zappa, who said, "Solving the problem of explicit rock lyrics with censorship is like solving dandruff with decapitation." But back to the charge, it wasn't the lyrics or the cover art, is that included in with the vinyl was a poster of H.R. Geiger's Work 219 Landscape XX, or 20, I suppose, alternatively known as Penis Landscape. 3 erect penises in alternating rows, entering vaginas, one of which was wearing a condom. This is of course, going into the Reagan-Meese environment did not go over well. And he was acquitted, but it eventually led to the band's breakup. Now, why do I bring this backstory up? Well, before the Nails became the Nails, when they were founded in Boulder, Colorado, they were the Ravers. Moved to New York City after they signed with RCA and changed their name because of a local band named Raver. But while they were performing in Boulder, they had a young man working for them as a roadie named Eric Boucher. And, if you haven't already guessed, he subsequently went on to change his name to Jello Biafra. So, little piece of backstory there to wrap things up here. That's it for me for now. Tune in next week. I'll have another song, a song that I actually tie into this program in a way that you wouldn't expect. But for now, hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and tune in next week when I'll be listening for my umpteenth time hearing of a song that may very well be your first time hearing. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.
A pair of stockings, a pair of shoes,